What's up YouTube, it's TinyL. Today we are going to react to a video called the ADHD test. I wanted to watch this video because I want to know if I don't know if this will tell me if I have ADHD, but I kind of did some research and some things were connecting, but I don't know if just because you read something, makes it true. And I didn't want to be one of those, people that self-diagnose themselves without truly knowing. So maybe there will be some tips or, something to tell me or you, whoever's watching this video, that we have ADHD, because I would really like to know. I seriously don't know if I have it. I never went to get diagnosed, and I don't really plan to. I don't really care about doing that type of crap. It's not gonna change anything in my life. But anyways, let's get right into the video, and make sure to go check out my links in the description. Go make sure to check out this video, and the name of the channel is Me with ADHD. So I guess this guy has ADHD, of course, and I guess he shows his life and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm interested. So let's get into it. Let's go.
What is up, everyone? It's Me with ADHD, and today we're going to try and figure out whether or not you have ADHD. So let's get right into that. But before we do that, make sure that you subscribe, click that bell icon, stay up to date with all of my new content. Alright, moving on. So a lot of the time I get very similar questions from you guys. They normally range from things like, I have this symptom, does that mean I have ADHD? Or
gotta plug up
is
my
this a symptom of ADHD? Or how can I tell if I have ADHD? Well, to be honest, I try to get to every single person who asks me these questions, but it got me thinking, why don't I just create a video that goes over all of the symptoms and the prerequisites that are involved in getting diagnosed with ADHD? Now hold up for a second, I just want to state one thing, I am no doctor, okay? I cannot diagnose you. What I can do is I can show you the prerequisites that go into a diagnosis and the symptoms, and then you can make a decision based off that. But I would definitely think that you should go to a doctor for a diagnosis. Alright, disclaimers out of the way. Let's actually talk about what ADHD is.
Sorry about that.
Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder is an impairment in the brain that affects the way that your brain uses and produces dopamine. This in turn causes issues with your memory, with your focus, with emotions, and a whole host of other things in your life too. Now there are a lot of symptoms that go into ADHD, things such as hyperactivity and bad memory, poor focus, impulsivity, and being over emotional. And while a lot of these are core symptoms of ADHD, the thing is, they're very relatable symptoms too, which leads a lot of people to think that they actually have ADHD because they feel one or two of these symptoms as well.
And that's exactly how I feel, and interested to know if I do, because after doing some research, I've connected some dots, but that doesn't truly mean that I have it, so I don't know for sure. So hopefully, this will shine some light on it more. If not, I guess I will just go through life not knowing.
While everyone can relate to some of the symptoms, you have to show a minimum of 6 of these symptoms before the age of 12.
6.
Oh, and while all of us
before 12?
being 12 years old, that's okay. You can show these symptoms into adulthood and as early as you can possibly remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 10 questions to quiz you and see if you fit the criteria for
Let's
ADHD.
do it.
Then you can go see a doctor.
The Adderall.
Alright, question number 1. Do you have trouble starting projects? And I mean like actually starting the project, not all of the prior planning and all of the creative thinking and all that, because we do really well at that stuff. I'm talking about when it actually comes down to it, to pulling the trigger and actually starting the project. Is that where you have the trouble? Question number 2, Do you have full
sometimes.
attention to detail? So when you do finally start working on that project, do you find yourself making a lot of little mistakes that you just brush over while you're just kind of smashing your way through it as fast as possible?
I've done that.
Do you skim read everything? Do you ignore instructions? Do you make silly mistakes because you're constantly not paying full attention to what you're doing? Question number 3, are you easily distracted? Like, easily distracted. When you finally do a task,
I wouldn't say too easily. I can focus when I have to.
And just distracted by anything around you. This
That's
isn't
something
just
in
for tasks,
mind.
this goes for like conversations too. Do you find yourself zoning out of a conversation really easily and find it really hard to focus exactly on what people are saying to you? Do you find that you didn't even listen to what they said to you when they spoke to you? You're just looking at their mouth moving. Question number 4.
If I'm not interested.
When you do focus, do you hyperfocus? So hyperfocus is practically Super Saiyan focus. This is where you become so intently focused on a task that you forget every single thing around you, you lose your concept of time, and you can go for hours and hours.
If I'm playing video
without
games,
even needing to go to the bathroom.
maybe I don't have this at all.
Question number 5, do you have bad time management? Now this is a rather loaded question, but breaking it down, do you have trouble making deadlines? Do you have trouble making it on time to things even though you try and you think you're going to be on time? Do you have trouble with time in relation to a task's length? And what I mean by that is, do you think that things are going to take way less time than they actually do take? And do you repeat this as well? Do you still make the same mistake on the length of a task even though in the past it's taken longer? Question number 6, are you disorganized? Do you feel like everything is such an incredible rush in your life that it's almost impossible to keep everything organized? Do you use the phrase organized chaos a lot? Do your tasks at work become disorganized? Meaning, do you have trouble prioritizing which task is most important and which one to do at certain times? Question number 7, do you have trouble with your emotions? This one has a number of different things to it. Do you feel like
Okay, maybe I'm
emotions
not.
are exaggerated in comparison to other people? Like, do you feel like
Maybe I am
or
not
sadness or boredom? Do you have a person
someone who has
have
ADHD.
trouble letting go of negative emotions or what other people might think of you? When something pops into your head that you really want to do you find yourself getting frustrated that you can't do that thing immediately or you have to wait to do it? Question number 8, are you impulsive? Piggybacking off the last question, do you find yourself wanting to do something immediately right after you think about doing it? For instance, when you think about something you might need, do you jump on Amazon right away and have to purchase it right there in that moment? Do you find that there are people in your life that are constantly having to put the brakes on you? Do you also find that in the middle of conversations, something will just pop into your head and you literally have to say it? You can't even wait until that person's finished talking until you say what you need to say. Question number 9, are you forgetful? This one applies more to your short-term working memory than it does your long-term memory. Do you have trouble remembering things that you were literally just told? Things like people's names or the instructions to a task that you're doing. Do you have trouble remembering really simple things that other people just, it comes naturally to them? And question number 10, do you have trouble shutting off your brain? Is your brain constantly running at 1,000 miles a minute? Do you have trouble winding down and sleeping because of all of the thoughts that are running through your head all at once? Do you find it hard to write down ideas for things because every time you start to write it down, you come up with different ideas and other things and you write those down and then eventually you end up with a whole mess of not fully fleshed out ideas? So if you said yes to all of these things or almost all of these things, the chances are you have ADHD. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not a doctor, I can't diagnose you, but these are the criteria for ADHD, and if you fit a lot of these and you feel like you might have ADHD, I would strongly
I don't think I have
suggest going
ADHD
to
if
your
it's going
doctor.
off of what he
Getting
said.
a diagnosis as early as possible is really important, you guys, because it can stop you using other things to self-medicate yourself without knowing. And that can lead to things like drug abuse or alcohol abuse or a number of negative things. So if you do think you have ADHD, go and see your doctor and see what they say. Anyway, that is my checklist on ADHD. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you think you have ADHD. Let me know if you've been to your doctor and see what they say. I'd love to hear from all of you guys. Like the video if you did. Subscribe, click that bell icon, stay up to date with all my new content.
I did like it on my other channel. Alright, well, by that video, I don't think I have ADHD. I mean, I do have some of those situations, but I wouldn't consider it being a reason that, I mean, not a reason. I wouldn't consider me having ADHD. Because the way he was saying some stuff seems like you would have to drastically be in that to qualify. So I don't know if it was just, he did say he's not a professional, so I'm not trying to say that what he says is true. It's interesting, you know. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a like, comment, say anything. Have a great day.